I played 100 Days of Moonstone Island, a game that is full of farming, alchemy, very attractive NPCs, and of course, a wide collection of adorable little spirits. I've played Moonstone Island before, but I have never once been productive in the game because there are so many things you can get up to in this game. So, because Moonstone Island is finally coming out for Nintendo Switch and tons of more people are going to experience this game, I decided it was the perfect time to challenge myself to play 100 days. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Payton. It is nice to meet you, it is nice to see you, and welcome to the corner. I have learned through making several of these I played 100 days of videos that for some reason I only become productive in games when I set myself to a challenge. I've played quite a bit of Moonstone Island before this 100-day experience, but I actually realized through this I knew nothing about the game, apparently. So going into this 100 days, I had a couple challenges. One, actually play the 100 days, which will have been the farthest I've ever gotten in the game. I'm playing on the fastest day speed to get things moving. I want to beat all 4 of the temples and try to finish off the main storyline. I want to romance at least one NPC of my choosing. I want to do some decorating. And most importantly, I want to find at least one holographic spirit, aka the super rare spirits in the game. Now, you're about to watch a feature film length video, so I'll keep the intro short, but please be sure to click the lovely little like button on your way out, as well as subscribe for more cozy, chaotic content, and check out my live streams if you want to see this chaos, but in a live format. Okay, I'll shut up. Let's get into the 100 days. And here we are in Moonstone Island. As I said, I have played before, so we'll need to start a new game, but I am still going to be playing through the tutorial, so I know how to play, and you know how to play. I'm greeted by my dad, who don't get too attached to him because after today, you will never see him again. Then my dad pretty much serves as the tutorial of the game, telling me how things work. I could use my scythe to get seeds from crops, and I can water things and never have to fill up my watering can, which I think is pretty cool. And then we get to the juicy stuff. I am given my medallion where I can choose my very first spirit. The first time I played, I did choose this fiery sheep back here because I thought he was the cutest and I didn't really know what I was doing. In this run at the beginning, I'm gonna be honest, I still didn't really know what I was doing that much, but I end up choosing Capiscia Bee, which I think now knowing how to actually play the game was the best choice. You'll see that each spirit has their own type, and they actually each one have their own special ability, which I didn't even realize until a lot longer in the playthrough. Anyway, there's my little bee, and now it's time for our very first battle. So I'm going to explain the battling a little bit at length here, just so we understand how it works going forward, because I'm going to breeze through a lot of the battles in this 100 days. Just know, though, a lot of the things I'm telling you, my small pea brain doesn't realize until much, much later on, but pretty much the battles are comprised of a couple different things. First of all, there's your armor. That's your resistance to the attacks. So you want to try to lower your enemy's armor because if you lower it, it could actually make them pass out. And when they pass out, you'll do more damage to them. There's also the speed, which if you have a higher speed than your enemy, that will mean that your spirit will get to attack first, which many of the time is very, very important. And it also makes your bash stronger, something I did not realize until much later on. Then there's vitality, which is your spirit's HP. Pretty much the more vitality you have, the more damage you can take. And if your vitality runs to 0, your spirit will die. They don't really die, but they're, they die for the sense of battle. And then there's power, which will determine your attack damage. So stronger power means better attacks. After the tutorial battle, I got to level one of those skills up. I decided to level up my armor, and then I got to pick a new card for my deck, and all of these kind of sucked. So I chose the flea one because I'm a scaredy cat. And then also wanting to note, you can feed your spirits as well. You can feed them both out of battle to boost their stats, or you can feed them during battle to save their life if they're about to die. And you can even feed your enemies, give them things to make their stats go down, or you can feed them certain crops that will tame them if you want to steal that spirit. Okay, we know how to play. Back to the game. Bye, parents. Look at my cute mom. Again, don't get attached to her because I'm about to leave. I am taking her seeds. I'm taking a tent. I'm taking some tools, and I am going to start my life. And very cool, this game actually, the world is not always the same every time. So I actually have no idea where anything is going to be. Also, I crash landed. The heck? I can't even drive a broom? I was supposed to find my tools. I didn't really find many of them, but I did find my first Moonstone, which was pretty cool, and then I passed out. Day 2, I'm greeted by Asono, who is the runner of the tavern, so she probably has a lot of experience dealing out with people who have passed out, and she said that Quill carried me here. Okay, Quill, hot. And she returned all of the tools that I could not manage to find myself. She also gave me the recipe for a cell crate and asked me to make one and then sell her some rocks. And then I'm also introduced to the chatting mechanic here, which is all done by percentages, which I think is pretty cool. Then I met Guyana, who's one of the plant store runner people. She's too cool for me. Then I got my first piece of mail, which was from my mom, saying she kind of knew I would fail and crash my broom, so she gave me the recipe for a balloon. Here I am exploring, and I have unlocked not much of the world yet. And then, oh my god, boyfriend number 1! Oh my god, it's Quill. Guys, don't tell him I like him. He's the artist in town, and he's hot. Then there's Cleo, who's the historian. I put away making friends to prioritize making myself a home. I decided right over in the corner by the hot spring is where I wanted to stay. So after clearing the way of the, weeds and the bushes and the rocks, I decided to place my home here, and I hit one rock and I find my first mine. What luck. I don't have time for the mine today. I only had time to make the cell crate. I didn't even have enough time to find all of the stones before I called it a night and went to bed. And as you can see, we are just getting started. Day 3, I'm requested to be social, but first I have other things to do, like make a balloon and also hit some rocks. This is the first mine I've discovered. These come about randomly, and you can find ore in them, you can find treasure chests in them, and of course, you can find spirits in them. I was so excited to run into this guy. His name is Worm Boy, I don't know. He was coming home with me. I tamed him. I'm on a quest to make the most perfect team ever, so he was coming home. I'm taking anyone I can get. Then I opened all of the chests, and this scarecrow boy ran into me. His name is Hopstraw, and I decided to tame him too. These are both earth spirits, so they both won't be staying on my perfect team that I'm trying to craft, but for now, they're coming home with me. And then I went to go and sell all of the stones that I needed to sell. I crafted my balloon, and I discovered the first dungeon, which have puzzles, they have bosses, they have lots of fun treasure chests. There's a lot of them, and they're really cool, and you also need to do them later on. We'll get into that. But I decided just to look for now and then go back to being social. I met Tobin. He's underrated. I don't know why I wasn't, pursuing him. He's, honorary boyfriend. He's the fish guy. He told me to go find fish on, rare islands. I don't do it, guys. I'm sorry. I love you. I don't do it. After fishing, I go and meet Farah, who is the blacksmith. She is so, so cute. And she tells me that she wants some copper ore, which I already had, and in return, she'll give me a furnace. Now, this is Paolo. Oh my god, Paolo. Paolo is the hot carpenter and one of my top romance options. They use they, them pronouns, so they're my top partner option, where my other two are both he, him, so they're my top boyfriends. Get it? Cool. Then, I decided to upgrade one of my cards because I'm on the mission to make the best team ever, and right now, Capishabi is the star. Also, you can name your spirits, and I like to come up with a theme for whenever I can name things in game. So we got honey mustard, apple cider vinegar, and relish. We're going for a condiment dressing topping kind of theme. It'll evolve as we go on. Then I met Zed, the scientist, and then I went home and decided I should probably farm. So I planted some different things, some stone fruit, which give you stamina, and some flax seeds, which will give you the option to tame some spirits. I'm trying to farm. I'm trying to be productive. Day 4, and I'm tending to my garden. And then speaking of garden, I went to see Guyana, who asked me to find all of the spring seeds. Pretty much there are different types of islands, and each one has their own type of seed for the season. So Before that, though, I went to go meet Rowan for the first time, who runs the store, and they sell the seeds that you sell to Guyana. And Ophelia, our last person we needed to meet, said hi to my boyfriend, and then I went to the Science Center for the first time to turn in my spirit research, which got me a boatload of money. And then it's furnace time, baby. I needed to make a furnace so I could make a Moonstone enchanter, so I can make a broom, so I can not have to use this slow balloon. As you could see, I made a lot of furnaces because I need a lot of bars. So I went to my first island outside of Moonstone Island. I found a treasure map, which we cannot deal with right now. And I found a fast travel point to a distant Earth island that was much farther away than the one that I was just on. There were spirits on this island that were higher than my spirits, like the level was too much to handle. So I was running around trying to get away from them. And then I know what you're thinking. It's late. How are you gonna get home? Well, there's actually a little handy dandy whistle that brings me home. Well, kind of. Brought me to that statue and then I walked home. Day 5 and Zed tells me to keep taming spirits. And Paolo gives me the blueprint to make my own spirit barn, which will let me keep way more than just the 3 spirits that will fit in my medallion. Then I'm tending to my furnaces and tending to my crops. Then I'm planting some lily pads, which could only be planted on the water, and they help boost the HP of your spirit during battle, so I thought they would be helpful. Then I had to sacrifice some of my iron to Farah because I needed to finish this quest for her, and she rewarded me by giving me the recipe for an anvil, which I ignore stupidly for too long. Like, that is actually a very helpful device, and I don't use it for a while. Then I find another mine. I'm getting all of the resources, which is good because I need to make bars and bars and bars. Finding all of the treasure chests, and I was trying to avoid this little slime guy because I couldn't tame any more spirits, or so I thought. And I just want to tame all the spirits. I'm like, oh, I can't tame him because I have no room in my medallion. That's wrong. I could have still tamed this guy because I could have sent him to the science center and then retrieved him from there like I was picking him up from daycare. But I didn't realize that, so instead I just defeated him and all of my little dudes leveled up. I'm pretty much just trying to get all of the different skills to be around even in the beginning. I don't quite realize that some of them definitely are more important than others. I learned later on there's like more nuance to the skills, whatever. Instead of going to bed, after I've had enough excitement, I decide to go to a nearby island, and lucky for me, I find the Spring Temple. And not only that, I find my boyfriend. This is the Magic Man, aka Waldo, and I love him. He's telling me about the Spring Temple. There are 4 temples in Moonstone Island, and they're overrun by spirits, and I need to give some offerings to fight all of these bosses. So I go in and we take on our first battle. This is like the baby boss. The baby boss. We're up against a Long Log, and it seems like my dudes are pretty well stacked compared to this guy. We're both level 5, and it doesn't take that long for me to totally wipe him out. I didn't have to do this one more than once, which I was shocked about, and all my guys leveled up, and then I got an alchemist wand, which will have me grow crops faster by using my stamina. The next offering wanted a copper ingot and an iron one, and I only had the iron one. So instead of going home, I decided I wanted a little bit more fun, and I went to a nearby island. It was another Earth island. I found another Moonstone. Moonstones are precious, people, okay? I needed to find them. Day 6, and Zed is pretty much asking me to collect, spirit poop, which I can't do yet because I don't have the spirit barn. So we're working on it, processing my bars, working on my crops, leveling up my little dudes. They're doing so good so far. Our beginning team, they're getting us through it. So much so that I thought it was time to take on our first dungeon. They're not all super puzzly like this one was. This one was definitely puzzly, and I thought I needed to get every single chest for the dungeon to be completed, like counted as completed. So I'm really concerned about these chests when I did not need to be. Pretty much for the dungeons, you're just trying to make your way to the boss. As long as you beat the boss at the end, you're good. But along the way, I ran into some other spirits, including Brick House, who I decided to tame and move to the Science Center because I now realize it exists. Then I ran into Mumbleweed, who I accidentally killed and I did not tame. but that's cool. We'll probably see him again. And I figured out that when you see this thing that revives your stamina, it means you're almost at the end of the dungeon. So I found the boss. You can tell he's the boss because he's got the little skull on his little meter. And it's just him. Like, this wasn't that bad a fight. Like, I feel like it was pretty good. My guys took no real damage. Nobody died. And I found my first memory shard, which we'll get into in a little bit. Before that, though, I found the big chest at the end with all the good stuff, and I'm getting a lot of really cool crafting recipes. And at the end of the dungeon, you'll also find this tree, which is the Ando tree, and it will increase your total stamina. Cool, we love it. Then I went back for the chest that I missed because, again, I thought I needed to have it. Whatever. Then it was finally time to make the Moonstone enchanter, which I need not only to make my broom, but also to make the spirit barn, which we really, really need. So I went to go chop some wood because I didn't have enough, and I spent literally the entire day doing this until I finally had the spirit barn. But I wasn't done. I needed to make stalls, and I needed to make some nests. I crafted my stalls, I crafted the nests, which I'll use to hatch eggs later on, and we're cooking. Like, I am being so productive already, so productive that I totally forgot time exists and I fell asleep. Then I have the skill tree for the first time, and I decided to up my ability to tame spirits, as well as have spirits that are lower levels than me run away. And I finally completed a dungeon! Day 7, and Zed just keeps asking me to do stuff for him. This time, he wants me to find a spirit of each type. So I decide to look for an island that is not an Earth island. And I immediately find one not too far away. It is a water island, and there is a water dungeon. I'm greeted immediately by Fishbow, who is one of my favorite spirits. I immediately tamed him. He's like the mascot for Moonstone Island, so I needed to have him. And now he gets to live in my spirit barn. And then I found Float. I guess it's kind of like floaty, right? Because it's a pun. Floaty, they came with me too. They're not even battles. They're just me taming the spirits I'm excited about. Then I found Sandcrashel, who is also one of my favorites from the first time I played. I haven't seen all of the spirits, but these were definitely ones that I remembered I really liked. And it wasn't that long before I found the boss. Now, this boss did knock my dudes out a few times, except for Capishabi, aka Honey Mustard, who is proving to be the MVP of the team. Luckily, though, the squad got back together and we ended up taking out the boss without banishing any of my own spirits. Everybody lived, and I found yet another memory shard. Then I leveled some stuff up. I decided to do the one step ahead, which would allow me to draw an additional card at the start of combat, which came in very handy. And then for the other one, I decided to do the dungeon bosses start with 2 less armor. Day 8, and I get to name all of my new little friends, of course sticking to our condiment sauce kind of theme. And we have Fishbow is now fish paste, Floaty is Worcestershire, because I love that word, and is hummus a condiment, sauce, or topping? I don't really know, but Sandcrashel is now hummus. So then I leveled up my dudes, they did such a good job, but call me Abby Lee Miller, everyone is replaceable. So I decided that I wanted to bring Worcestershire to my team instead of Relish. So now I've got an Earth Spirit, Electric, and Water. Then I went to say hello to Paolo, and I fell in love with them, of course, but also that desk, so I bought it. Then I went to turn in some research to Zed. I'm doing such a good job, doing what I'm supposed to. And then I went back to the Spring Temple because I finally had my copper ingot that I was waiting on. So I offered my 2 things, and then it was time to go to the next boss. But first, I had to use the magic wand that I got to grow this vine so I could climb my way there. And it is just so satisfying to do that. I love it. And then we're on boss number 2, another long log, just one of them again. But as you can see, this one has the most HP I've ever seen so far. They've got 150 HP, which is much higher than my team. So Worcestershire did take some heat, but overall we ended up doing really good and none of my spirits banished. We're good, and I leveled everybody up, especially Worcestershire, who jumped a bunch of levels. The next offering wanted a moonstone and some clay. I don't have any clay at this point, so I decided to go exploring, and I finally found the magic man. Like, I finally found my boyfriend yet again. So this is his house. This is our formal meeting. I was supposed to find him before the Spring Temple, presumably, but this is where he's introducing himself to me, and he's asking me to find the memory shards, aka the things that I've been getting from the dungeons, to help him regain all of his lost memory. He's really cool. You can chat with him and flirt with him, just like the other NPCs, and you can even buy new cards for your spirits here. And then I went exploring on the island. I found another treasure map, but ignore that. Ignore that for now. Then I found some more water spirits that I didn't already have, specifically Bobo and Snorko, who are so adorable that I would die for them. And so you guess it, they're going to be coming home with me, except I don't have any room for them, so they're going to the science center first. Now, taming spirits is not an exact science, as you can see. You have 3 energy, aka 3 moves that you start out with per round. So I wasted a lot of time trying to tame Bobo before I finally got him. And then I engaged in another battle with some more spirits I didn't have. Apple Cider keeps dying, which is getting in the way of my hopes and dreams of taming these guys, but eventually I'm able to tame Claudio, who is one of my favorites, and I don't realize what the regen cards are at this point. The water spirits have the ability to regen, so to refill their HP a little bit per round. You could see my 2 enemies have that. It's the heart with the little plus. I'm fully ignoring it because I'm stupid, but don't worry, I realize my mistakes later on. I nearly die again, but I finally got Starcy, and this is just proving that Honey Mustard is the main character. Honey Mustard is the star of the show. I can rely on nobody else. I went to another island because I'm having too much fun, and oh my goodness, thank God I did, because it was time for my first ever Psychic Storm. I realized right away that there are new crops that I haven't seen before, so I collect the seeds because I haven't forgotten about that one quest from Guyana and Ophelia, and then, for the first time, I find a Psychic Spirit. Now, this only happens on one randomized island once a day after 20 at night, and here I am trying to tame all of the spirits. And this moment would end up being such an important moment for the entire rest of the playthrough, but you'll see why a little bit later. My first target was Look At You, this adorable ghost-looking friend, and it was hard to tame them, but I finally did. I've been saving so many flax for this moment, and I also tamed Magicat, so the last one I needed to tame was Beardini, who is just the sweetest, adorable little friend ever. They all went to the science center, and then I found even more spirits. I found some taro. I only needed to tame 1, so it was a nice balance of taming, but also banishing, you know, trying to level up my spirits and not just tame new ones to replace them. So I finally tamed them. They moved to the science center. I ended the day with some upgrades, and I decided to do the beginner spirit mancer. So now I can keep spirits that are level 10. Day 9, and I can finally craft the broom, and I'm feeding my spirits, who are really my everything at this point. There's my boyfriend, oh hey, but he doesn't really love me yet. In fact, none of the NPCs love me, but it's because I've been paying way more attention to the spirits, just like in real life where I pay more attention to my dog than to people. But it's fine. I am doing my quest for Ophelia. I sold her my Psychic Spring Seeds, and then I went to the Science Center, and since I upgraded my Spirit Mancing abilities, I took all of my psychic friends and I brought them to my spirit barn. I also finally had poop to sell. I had some water spirit poop, aka sea glass, so I sold that. And then I bought a lot of flax seeds because I am taming all the spirits. I finally made a sprinkler as well, just one because I don't have that many resources, but you know, will help me out a little bit so I don't spend the entire day tending to my crops. Then it was time to name my new friends, and I named Beardini after my favorite pasta sauce, which is also pink, vodka sauce. Then Magicat is called Fluff, like the marshmallow fluff, you know. This guy I decided to name Alfredo sauce, and then Taro is now whipped cream. Now, once again, everyone is replaceable, so Worcestershire got the boot when really it should have been apple cider vinegar that got the boot, and instead I added vodka sauce to my team. Then I crafted a calendar that I do neglect for the rest of the playthrough, and I ended the day. Day 10, I obviously didn't read this, but Zed tells me because I found the psychic spirits, that now on my little compass will glow if I'm near a moonstone, and I never notice until like the end. So, you know, if you're wondering why I'm dumb, that's why I don't know how to read. I moved where my moonstone enchanter was, fed my dudes, and then it was time to use my very slow broom. Get used to this broom because I forget that at some point I can craft a glider. I forget this for a while, so we're sticking with the broom, and I am trying to find more islands, but here I am at another Earth island. Like, give me the flavor, give me something exciting, okay? And slowly but surely, I make my way to my favorite type of island, aka a poison island. Before I forgot, I decided to harvest the seeds because I'm trying to do the quests. And remember, Tobin wanted me to get all those fish? This was my one chance that I tried to do that. I didn't catch the correct fish, and then I immediately gave up. And then that's when time stopped because I saw her. Now, like I said, I've played Moonstone Island a little bit before. I definitely had never seen the majority of the spirits, but from all the spirits I did see, Marsha was always my number one. And like, for a reason. Look at this lovely, lovely girl. And immediately I'm reintroduced to poison spirits who can deal poison damage that will keep hitting you every single round. So they are really good spirits to have on your team. And so I did everything I could to bring Marsha to my spirit barn. And I ran into Ribite and Toxatoe. I only had enough flax to tame one of them, so I prioritized Toxatoe. Apple Cider died yet again, so I avenged them by banishing Ribite, who one day, later on, maybe I would tame when I have more flax. So Marsha was going to my team, but before that, I needed to name them the best name I could think of, Guacamole. And then Toxatoe is stinky, so I decided to do Nacho Cheese. I kicked Apple Cider Vinegar from the team, and Guacamole took her rightful spot. Day 11, and Paolo has the goods. Not just them who has the goods, but they sold that really cute, like, gardening desk. I wanted it, so I bought it. Then I turned in a bunch of my research after finding all those poison dudes yesterday, and I had some more spirit resources to sell, aka poop. So I sold both my water one and my psychic one, and then I sold Guyana my poison seeds that I had found the day prior. And I'm doing pretty good on that. What I'm not doing good on is the broom. The broom sucks. I hate the broom. I fall a lot when using the broom. I end up back on the poison island from yesterday, even though I have like no flax to my name. I guess I just wanted chaos. And the poison was hurting me, okay? The taking damage every single round was absolutely killing me. So vodka sauce, sadly, could not take the poison, and shockingly, neither could guacamole. But don't worry, our main character, Honey Mustard, pulled out the win for us, and ignore this stupid thing I did. These are all ladder plants where you're supposed to plant them underneath a cliff to be able to climb up, but you need to plant them where you want to actually use them. I thought I needed to plant them and then I could harvest them and then place ladders everywhere. Not that, so ignore all of my ladders, but look at my cute desk. Day 12, and my constipated earth cuties finally pooped out some clay for me. Also, I moved Brick House from the Science Center to here. I forget to give them a name for a little bit, but don't worry, they'll get one. Then I sold one of my clay to Zed because I needed the other for a special reason. Of course, for the Spring Temple. Now, the Spring Temple is the only temple I've ever seen and done in Moonstone Island up until this point. And this particular final boss battle took me ages, like so long to finally beat. Like, I thought this would be the death of me. This final boss battle is so tough because not only do you have the boss that has a lot of HP and they're a better level than I am, but he's got two little sidekick dudes, the two little long logs. And the thing is, when you kill the long logs, you get just one turn of Wildwood being by itself before those two bad boys come back to life. Like, what is that about? That is not fair. Luckily, though, Guacamole puts herself as the main character, and she is using her poison for good. I hate to say it to Honey Mustard, but I think this is the moment Guacamole became the true star of the show because she won us the boss battle like it was nothing. That poison was being dealt. I can't believe I only had to do this once, but I got the Earth Seal and then I leveled everybody the heck up. Now I'm on the hunt for the Summer Temple, which I don't know where it is. I've never seen it. I don't know what you need for it or even if I can do it because I'm not in summer. But I don't find it. Instead, I find Poison Island after Poison Island, all of which with spirits higher than mine, until I make it back to a regular, safe Earth Island. Like, it's okay. We're running from the spirits. I'm scared. I'm just trying to find the summer temple. Now, I find my first electric island for the first time, which is exciting and also terrifying because I realize if you see the little yellow bar at the bottom, you keep getting electric damage that's dealt to you nonstop when you're on these islands. You get poison damage on the poison islands, but not nearly as much. I realize I can't harvest the seeds here until I upgrade my scythe, so I want to leave, but then it turns into a psychic storm, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do something. I don't have enough flax to tame any of the guys, but my hope was if I could defeat them, maybe one of them would drop some good loot for me, and I was exactly right. I also realized at this point that vodka sauce is an amazing person to have because the psychic spirit oftentimes will give you an extra energy for free, or some moves just won't cost anything. So with guacamole and vodka sauce, we won the battle, and I got a psychic spirit egg, which made up for the fact that I couldn't tame any of them. Now, I wasn't going to leave all the really cool electric spirits that I saw hanging, so we defeated all of them. Vodka sauce suffered, but guacamole, once again, took it for us. Then I decided to real quick put out my psychic egg, and I had some upgrades, so I decided to do the spirit farmer, which was the likelihood that spirits would drop more eggs and resources, which ended up being a really good choice. As well as I started combat with an extra energy. Day 13, and I get a message from Rowan, who sets me up for one of the most fun quests that goes on for a while. Pretty much, they want me to match up all of the different NPCs with their own spirit companion. So I'm really excited to get started on that. But first, I cleaned up some poop, and then I turned in some research, and then I sold the first ever poison poop that I ever got to Zed, because that's what my life is all about now. And then I'm still on my summer temple search, but instead of finding that, I found another water island, and I got a treasure map that actually looked familiar to me. I was like, oh wait, I already know that island. I have that island. So I went to the palm tree island, and the magic man even came to watch me dig up my first treasure. So exciting. So all of these different treasure maps will lead you to buried treasure that you can dig up and find. I realized though that potentially it would be much easier to just do all that after I discovered all the islands. So that's the last one for a while. Then I don't know why I can't sleep in the magic man's bed. I want to sleep there, but I can't. Whatever. I don't want your twin bed anyway. Day 14, and I get my first spirit matchmaking request from Paolo, who wants a spirit with the name Oak. Oak something. I actually knew which spirit that was, but I hadn't seen them quite yet, so I went about my normal activities of feeding my spirit, praying that my flax will be done soon, and then I went to an earth island, and I wanted to tame this long log, but he was a boss, so I wasn't able to tame him. But still, we engaged in battle, and my team is doing good. Guacamole is poisoning everybody that comes into her path. And then I went back to the water island I had found the day before, and I decided to do the dungeon. And this dungeon had bosses that I could not skip. So this first one had some familiar faces. Vodka sauce has a poor showing, okay? Shh. I'm gonna need you to stop thinking about it. Guacamole stealing the show, as always, and we beat the first boss, and I got a water spirit egg as my loot, which was so exciting. And then I ran into a fishbow boss, which I thought was just so cute to see. I'm also upgrading all of my spirits in between each battle and feeding them so that they're good to go for the next one. Now we have another Starseed boss. As you can see, these ones are both just Starseeds, and I forgot I had already tamed one of these guys. Not that this one's not worth it, but like, I wasted my precious flax taming a spirit I already had. And then it was time for the boss, and the boss had an octopup with him, which was so cute. I was poisoning everybody. I accidentally poisoned the octopup before I could tame them, sadly, but it's okay, it's okay. And vodka sauce is hanging on by a thread. They finally got in their last hit, and they're not the first one dying. They're actually helping us win. I got a memory shard, and then I got the big chest of goodies. I increased my stamina, and then of course, as you do, I went back in to find the missing chest that I couldn't find. And then it was my lucky day because I was in the middle of another psychic storm. I met up with Rablet, which was a new one for me that I loved. So of course, I tamed them pretty successfully. And then after upgrading, I immediately got into another battle, and Looney Lid and Posho were ones I did not have. So I tamed those guys. It took a little bit of time to get the Looney Lid, but he was so worth it. And then I tried to make it to bed, but I just fell short, like right on time. And then I got to upgrade something, so I decided to upgrade the chance of uncommon cards appearing. Day 15, map check. As you can see, I have already discovered a few islands with a lot left to discover. And then I'm really trying to find this dang summer temple, and I don't find it. But instead, I find myself to another poison island. And then I don't know what was in my brain, but I decided, yes, let's go into this dungeon. I'm definitely absolutely ready for it. I wasn't. The boss was my girl Marsha, and so it was Marsha versus Marsha, and it didn't go well. I tamed Bird Brain at least. It took me quite a long time. He was very stubborn. And in the end, the poison just got to be so very much, and I just couldn't avoid it. Now, vodka sauce is always the first one to die, but this is an underdog story, okay? You'll see. Don't count vodka sauce out. And it's really not her fault because everybody ended up dying. This was my first time having the day end because I died in battle. I got to do an upgrade, so I chose to move faster in the dungeons, and then, oh my god, look how hot the mystery man looks. Shut up. That's my boyfriend. Day 16, so this is how you get in the magic man's bed. Just pass out and he will carry you to safety. Noted. So I woke back up on the poison island that I passed out at, and I found a fast travel that led me to my first fire island, and I am informed, as you can see, this island is so far away, so the spirits are much more powerful than me. I am taking so much fire damage just walking around. I can't harvest any of the seeds. I can pick up the crops, but I'm running away from all of the fire spirits. They're so much more powerful than me. I think I'm about to take safety, and then boom, I'm on a electric island that is just as bad. Luckily though, I'm still picking up treasure and little goodie bags, and I'm finding a lot of fast travel points which are not helping me. They're getting me even further and further away. Like, the scary points of the map is where I'm at. So here I am, finally getting a clue, using my whistle to get home, and one of my spirit eggs hatched, this psychic one. I had already tamed this spirit, but that's okay. Now this is the one I'm gonna keep. And I upgraded her, and then I realized I got to give her a name. I called her Plum Marmalade, and I still don't realize that Brickhouse doesn't have a name. I'm so sorry. At some point, he will be loved, but not today. Day 17, as a reward for hatching my first spirit egg, Zed gives me the recipe for a self-feeding stall, which I don't use for a while. And then I visited Asono at the tavern. Did you forget about her? Well, yeah, me too, kind of. So I decided to buy drinks for everybody because at this point, I'm like a stranger to all these people. They don't know I exist, and I want them to know I exist, especially Quill. I want Quill to know I exist. So, trying to get everybody on my good side. Then I visited Farah because I really needed to upgrade my scythe so I could get all the rest of the spring seeds. So I upgraded my scythe not once, but twice, hoping that would be good enough to cut down the fire and electric seeds at the very least, because I already had the poison ones. Then I visited Paolo and I gave them some beer, which they loved, and I love them. Then I grabbed my lily pads that I have been forgetting about because I never walk on this beach. Speaking of forgetting, hi Tobin, I forgot you were here, love you so much. And then I made my way to the closest electric island to me, which is great because I was able to finally harvest the seeds. And the islands that are closer to you, to Moonstone Island, usually have enemies that have less impressive stats. So that meant I could probably tame some electric spirits. And I really liked this guy. I have no idea to say his name. Snome? I don't know, little snake guy. I loved him, so I tamed him. I couldn't tame the other guy, so I did banish the heck out of him, and my whole team made it out alive without getting hurt. Then I found another new Earth Island with lots of flax seeds, so of course I went and stole them all. Then I found the string of smallest islands I've ever seen, which was really fun until I eventually passed out because I couldn't find any more islands. So I warp whistled my way home instead of trying to fly there and went to bed. Day 18, and I'm making my way with this spring seed quest. I just have a few more left. Then I learned about dark spirits for the first time and how they're a result of the rift that's going on in our world, and that's why the Magic Man, is who he is. And then I turned in all of my spirit research. I gave Zed a coffee, which he really liked. And then I went back to that fire island that I accidentally found myself on the other day for the sole purpose of just getting the seeds I needed. What I didn't expect was my first holo spirit, my first holographic spirit, aka super rare spirit. He's the one that's golden and shining. I knew that it was holo because I've seen the regular version of this spirit. He's like orangey red. So I knew, even though I was not fit for this, I had to try. And as you can see, they demolished my spirit instantly until it was just Guacamole standing. And she gave it her best shot, but it was absolutely no use. These spirits were way too powerful for me. But at least I gave it a go, and I'm in the arms of the Magic Man. Day 19, and I am upgrading the squad's cards because they are not the perfect team yet. Right now, we're pretty much auditioning them all to be the lead at this point. Then I should also mention I've been getting a lot of concoctions, which are pretty much two different crops mixed together. So sometimes you get really good stats, sometimes you get really bad ones. Then I'm back to the fire island that viciously killed me, made my way to an electric island, and then I found a temple! I was so excited. I was like, yes, summer temple, baby. Like, I am pumped. I've never seen this before. The Magic Man came to celebrate with me, and he told me this is actually the winter temple, which confirmed my thought of, okay, I can locate all of the temples, but I'm not going to be able to do them until their respective season because this one wanted very specific seasonal crops that won't exist, you guessed it, until winter. Then I found my way to another electric island, and I wanted that long arm boy so bad. I think he's so cute looking, so I was like, I need to have that man. Okay, Vodka Sauce died immediately, and again, it's an underdog story, so shut up. I don't want to hear about how bad she is. She's doing her best. Also, Honey Mustard died too, really meaning that Guacamole is the star of the show. Also, I tamed Armbot as I wanted to, was very excited about that one. And at least Guacamole leveled up. Then I ran into my favorite electric spirit so far. While Burgaloon is cute, I'm sorry, look at Bread Mouse. Like, what is that? Toaster baby. So I knew, I was like, I need to make this work. I'm taming the spirit. I'm giving it everything I have. And they were a little stubborn. It took some time, but I did manage to tame them without sacrificing Vodka Sauce or any of my other spirits. So I moved them to the science center and I'll pick them up from daycare one day. Then, hello, enter our next main character. My eggs hatched and I got a holo Claudio. Like, everybody stop the phone, stop the presses, hold the phone, because we have our first holo spirit and it is such a cool looking one. I immediately upgraded all of their stuff, and then I realized I had to come up with a name for everybody. So Brick House finally gets a name. It's Garlic Aioli. The Electric Boy is called Hot Sauce. Claudio needed the best name ever, so my favorite dipping sauce for some hot wings is blue cheese, and the repeats went to the science center. Then I made it so that my spirits can poop out eggs, and I also did close call, which means 5% chance that attacks do 0 damage, which is very, very helpful, and I got the recipe to make Taming fertilizer. Day 20, and blue cheese laid an egg. Oh my god, everything is looking so good for me. And then I know I literally just got the tame fertilizer recipe. I bought it instead, and I also bought some healing fertilizer to try to boost the healing quality and, of course, the tame for crops I was going to grow. Then I went to the science center and I realized I can't tame spirits over level 20. So I moved the spirits I can to my barn, and now that I had a little bit more room. And then I went to sell the remaining seeds I had left for Guyana because it's almost the end of the season. I realized I have just one fire seed left, and then the other 2 must be from a dark island that I somehow cannot find. Like, dark islands don't exist, I think. Then I named some of my friends. We got Vinaigrette, and we got Custard. Again, it started out as condiments, and then it was like, okay, salad dressing is cool. Okay, dessert things are cool too. I don't know. So then I'm placing more stalls because I want more spirits. Then it was time to make some cuts to the team. I'm so sorry. I love you. And I moved blue cheese to my team, and I decided to give hot sauce a go because I temporarily thought they were a fire spirit. I forgot that they're also electric too. So I probably could have just kept honey mustard. Day 21, and Tobin is asking to be match made with his spirit, and he wants Snorko, the cute little dude with the snorkel that I saw earlier on. Even though I haven't even found Paolo's yet, I'm still looking. I forgot that I already tamed Snorko, so I went to a water island to look for him, and I ran into Starcy, and I figured this would be a great time to try and test out my new squad members. And I'm dumb, and I don't realize this. I haven't been paying attention to what types of spirits these guys are. So Starcy is a water spirit, and water is weak to electric. And I forgot that hot sauce was like electric. I don't know why in my brain I was like, yes, this is fire, even though he had lightning bolts. So I just thought that he was the best spirit ever, when in fact, you know, Starcy was just weak to electric and he was electric. So I don't know how anything works still. I find a random poison island and I'm like, yes, this team is definitely suited for a dungeon, even though my very much so more equipped team also couldn't do the poison dungeon. Let's go in there with blue cheese, who's a level 6. Right. Bad idea. Even though I have the close call, which is preventing attacks, blue cheese got knocked out, but luckily hot sauce and guacamole snatched it. Then I got into another battle and I saw Emo Shroom for the first time, who's so cute. Blue cheese, again, it's a story for underdogs here. At this point, I'm like, blue cheese sucks. When in fact, they're just a really low level compared to the other two, and it's not their fault, okay? Then I get into another battle and I realize I haven't refed hot sauce, so they're going into the battle super weak. So I decide for the first time to run away. Like, I gotta get out. Blue cheese is about to die. Hot sauce is about to die. Guacamole can't carry the team every single match. So I go away, feed my spirits, and it's fine because I then run into the boss. Now, I was feeling a little not so certain about this boss. I was feeling confident with my girl Guacamole, but blue cheese is really just here for experience at this point, and hot sauce is learning as well. So blue cheese gets knocked out immediately, but somehow guacamole and hot sauce pull it off, and I get my memory shard, I get my chest, and then I am filled with more stamina. I run outside and immediately spirits are running into me, and I don't want them. I want to go right back into the dungeon because I didn't get all of the chests, but I pass out before I find the last one. But at least I got to do a level up for my social skills because I've been trying to talk to people. So I decided to level up my flirting. Day 22, I'm starting with the walk of shame because I passed out and I had to stay over at my boyfriend's. Then I'm right back in this freaking dungeon, and I'm here the whole day. I get so desperate that I even start dropping crops to remind myself where I've been, until I make it right to where I was before I passed out yesterday, and I notice this little symbol and realize there's a freaking secret passageway, man. So I get the last chest at the end of the day after literally screaming my brain off. But luckily, the universe rewards me because right on this very island, there was a psychic storm. I was hoping to find some psychic spirits I didn't already have. That wasn't the case, but at least I got to practice in combat with some of my newbies, and blue cheese actually survived, so they leveled up a lot. Then I raced home to feed my spirits because I'm really worried about them running away. I don't know how many days they can go without food, so I'm really paranoid at this point. And unfortunately, I pass out before I end up feeding them all, and I don't make it to bed. But I used a skill point where cards could randomly upgrade themselves, and that seemed worth it to me. Day 23, thank goodness nobody ran away, and it is time once again to make some cuts to the team. I decided I can't have two newbies on the team, and I wanted to keep blue cheese since they were my special holographic one. So I decided to bring back honey mustard after much debate, turned in my research, and then I went trying to search for the summer temple again, and instead I found this random earth island, which was okay because I'm still looking for the spirit that Paolo wants for their match. Still haven't found it, but I thought this was a good opportunity to tame some spirits I didn't have, so I got Mumbleweed here, and everybody leveled up, thankfully. And then I saw there was a dungeon on this island, and I can't help myself. I love the dungeons. This one was very puzzly, so it was kind of hard to navigate around, just like the one from yesterday. And I don't know if I would just rather keep fighting people, honestly. But then I found the cutest pair, Papoose? Pappas? I don't know who this man is. Love them. I couldn't tame them because they're a boss. But Dusty, I don't know why I didn't tame Dusty here. I love Dusty. In my first playthrough, Dusty was the first ever Holo spirit I had, but not today, whatever. Then with literally no time left, I find the boss somehow when I still haven't found most of the chests. And this is the moment, this is it, guys. This is the moment where I realize you should look at your enemies and what they're weak to. AKA these earth guys. They're weak to poison, and then each one is weak to another random type. So from now on, I pay attention. Great. Blue Cheese died. We ended up winning. Memory shard, you know, stamina. And I don't learn from my mistakes because I try to go back for the other chests and I pass out. Day 24 and I'm right back in that dungeon because I'm stubborn. And then I immediately find another island with a dungeon. So here I am at the electric dungeon. And I decide to do the boss battle with literally moments left of the day. But really, all I cared about was taming that cute little puppy robot. We, of course, sacrificed Blue Cheese, as we do. But everyone else leveled up. I got the memory shard. And once again, I can't leave it alone. So I decide to go back in for the final chest. And I just make it to bed on time. And then I choose to have my spirits gain 10% more XP in dungeons. Day 25, and I'm skedaddling my repeat spirits to the science center because I gotta keep the space open. But more importantly, I have to find the summer temple. It's about to be summer. I want to be ready. And I need to find a dark island because I need the spring seeds before it's too late. And boom, temple. But it's the wrong one. This one's my favorite, but I found the fall temple, so still not the right one. Then I found a fire island with reasonably leveled spirits that I could actually tame. Blue Cheese, of course, died, but it's an underdog story. Don't count them out yet. And then I tamed these two fire spirits that I hadn't had before, and I was really excited about that. Then I ran into this guy by accident. I didn't mean to. Obviously, then I would have fed my spirits. Instead, Blue Cheese died right off the bat, and I was almost for sure taming him, but the poison ended up getting to him before I could fully tame him. But it's cool. I got some fire eggs, and then I ran into the magic man on this electric island, which is great because I owed him the memory shards I've been collecting. And then I placed all of my eggs, and then I leveled up so that we could have even more eggs. Day 26. Remember that anvil I told you about? I finally make it. And I learned that I can make charms that will help me resist damage from islands, so I won't get struck with fire every time I go to a fire island or an electric island, etc. Very useful, but I can't make any of the charms just yet, so I need to collect some ore. Then I'm convinced that the dark islands must be at the top right or bottom right of the map. Spoiler alert, they're not. And while I'm entangled in some very crazy islands, I can't escape this battle with the cutest little fire dog I've ever seen, and it's not long before they wipe out all of my guys. So, I guess I flew too close to the sun or fire. Day 27, and I'm still looking for a dark island. I don't find one, but I do end up on this random poison island. I decide, okay, I'll just look around. It's gonna be nothing. And then, everybody, stop. Everybody stop, because I found Holo Marsha, my favorite freaking spirit. I found the Holo version. Everybody shut up, because it is time for me to do the most important thing I do in this, which is to tame Holo Marsha, and I did it. I was literally sobbing. I was crying. I was so happy. And then I almost died. As you can see, Blue Cheese was out of here. But I got Rad Lad too because I really love ooblets, and he's an ooblet, but he's in this game. I'm dying trying to get to the far side of the map because I'm convinced that's where the dark islands are, and I need to see it. I run into this dungeon to refill my stamina because my goal was to just like fly home and get off this island, but instead I accidentally ran into the sheep I rejected at the start of the video, and he was here with a vengeance because I died. Day 28, and Waldo wants his spirit, which is a fishbow, and I'll get to that eventually, but first I'm still on my mission to find a dark island. It's the last day of spring. It's my last chance to try to get the dark spring seeds, otherwise I will never complete that goal in this video. And also, Zed wants me to find dark spirits as well. He told me they were all the way at the far, far corners of the map. I decided just to check the right side, and that was the wrong choice. And then I ran into this sheep again, who still just has it out for me. Like, this is just the first move, and they absolutely demolished me. Like, I could not have ended the season in a worse way. Day 29, the first day of summer, my mom writes me a letter asking me to sell a concoction so that I can learn how to make concoctions. But first, even though I failed for the spring seeds, I will do the summer ones. And then, in case you're wondering, I still haven't learned my lesson, and I'm still using this stupid broom to fail to fly around. I will eventually realize I could get a glider, but I don't for like a little bit more. Then thank God my spirits didn't die, because I've certainly been doing a lot of dying. And is that Lightning McQueen? Do you see this red car spirit that I got? I was so excited by him. And then I also got this dude who I did tame. He was at the Science Center, but I decided this one's here. I named Lightning McQueen Sriracha, and the other one is called Chili Oil, and I was glad to finally be having some fire spirits in my collection, because I have a lot of spirits just sitting at the Science Center that I can't bring over because their level's too high. Also, my first unofficial date with Paolo, shout out, shout out. Then I cleaned up and I got some resources because I've been spending a lot of time not doing any building, and then I leveled up to increase my light radius. Day 30, and I look at the calendar probably for the only time during summer before I go back to neglecting it again. Then I get a message from my mom, who I sold a concoction to, and she gives me the recipe to make my own alchemy lab to make my own concoctions. But there's no time for that right now. Right now, I gotta sell my summer seeds and then buy the summer generic seeds I can get. So moss balls are the new lily pads, and pinwheel flowers are the new flax. Pretty much, I'm prioritizing the crops that will boost my spirit's HP, and also the crops that I can use to tame others. Then I went to the Science Center because it's been a hot second. I checked in on holographic Marsha, who is still there, but I can't move any spirits above level 10 to my barn right now, so she's staying in daycare for a while. But who I can move is Fishbow, who I owed to my boyfriend, Waldo, who low-key is my favorite, but don't tell Quill, and don't tell Paolo either, okay? Cool. So I did that, and then he also told me I could get a free talisman from his shop, but I thought he was kidding, so I didn't get that. Then I'm still desperately looking for the Summer Temple, also the Dark Islands, but mostly Summer Temple. But I still didn't find it, but it's okay. I leveled up so I could potentially wake up an hour earlier. Day 31, and it's that time again. Someone's gotta be cut from the team because I'm trying to assemble the ultimate team of spirits, and it's not cutting it. So I decide I want a Lightning McQueen to replace our original main character, Honey Mustard. Then I move on and I decide I need some better tools because I want to start getting things going. Like I want a house and all that good stuff. So I got an upgraded hammer, and then I went to sell the seeds I had, and I had fire poop for the first time, so I sold the fire poop. And then I am once again on the never-ending hunt for the Summer Temple, but I didn't find it. Instead, I found Octopup, who I knew I had to tame, but I feel bad. I'm saving room in my barn for the higher level spirits, so for now, they can go to the Science Center, aka daycare. And Blue Cheese is doing better. Like, Blue Cheese is leveling up. And so that just means we have a new weak link, and it is Sriracha. But they are new to the team, so, like, let's give them a chance. I am also, once again, forgetting the whole point of the game. They're different types of spirits. Fire is not great against water, okay? And my small pea brain doesn't realize that. Speaking of small pea brain, I retamed that Snorko even though I have it, and then I'm finally fed up. I'm sick of it. So I finally craft the glider before I went to sleep. No more broom. Day 32, and here I am picking up one of the 2 Snorkos that I tamed so that I can give it to Tobin. And here we are, giving it to Tobin. I finally have achieved another pair. Oh my goodness, this is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was. And Tobin told me I could get something for free at their shop. And once again, I didn't listen. If I've learned anything from this experience is I don't read when people tell me things. But anyway, on a lighter note, look at my glider. I really have leveled up, finally. Like, it took 32 days, but I'm finally doing something. Obviously, the glider is still using my stamina, but so much less than the broom. There is no, like, expiration on it. And because I've been doing so many dungeons, my stamina is pretty big. So I'm really testing it, and I am going to far islands. And lucky me, I got caught up in a psychic storm. But sad for me, I didn't get a lot achieved in this psychic storm because as I was harvesting this crop, this aggressive sand crashel and his buddies came to once again destroy Sriracha in one move. It's cool. And you'd think by now I would understand about the regen. Like, as you can see, all of my enemies have 4 regen, so they are gaining back their HP every round. I could be doing that with blue cheese, but I still don't understand because I still am too stupid, and I died again. Day 33, and my mom will not quit it with this concoction stuff, but I am not there yet. I am still on my shenanigans, and I am still pushing my glider to the absolute limit because I feel like, okay, maybe I won't find the Dark Island, but I gotta find the Summer Temple some point soon, right? Well, in this moment, I don't find it, but I do find my first ever Dark Island. I was screaming when I made it here. As you can see, you take a lot of damage from these islands, but I couldn't help but explore a little bit. Like, I took so long to get here and it was so cool. I saw all of the spirits that were there and they were way higher levels than me. So here I am running away from them. Like, please, I don't want to even be in your presence. I know I am not worthy. Trying desperately to get my seeds, and then I couldn't help but get into battle with the coolest spirit I've seen yet, specifically the coffee one, but the other 2 were pretty cool too. I'm sure you can guess what happens. Instant banishment on blue cheese, on sriracha, and guacamole luckily was able to flee because I didn't want to end the day after this amazing discovery. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is the full far left-hand side of the map, so I was totally wrong, thinking it was gonna be on the right side. And then I find another Dark Island, and this one is actually the most important island in the game. You'll see why later, but I had the feeling that I would need to come back here to potentially put some things on these pedestals later on. But we're not gonna worry about that now. Map check. The map is full. Like, we are filling this thing out. I've nearly discovered all the islands. The day just kept getting better because I got home to a hollow octopup hatched in my barn. I couldn't even think of a name for him. I was so excited. My 3rd hollow spirit. Day 34, I go right to naming my new hollow friend, and since he is an octopus, I decided to call him Takoyaki Sauce, and I love him so much. Also, in the chaos of yesterday, I realized I actually couldn't harvest any of the seeds on the Dark Island. I was only harvesting the crops, but I need the seeds, so I need to upgrade my scythe at some point. Couldn't do that yet, though. Instead, here I am on an Earth Island. I'm still looking for the spirit that Paolo wants. Couldn't find it, so I tamed that guy instead. And then I'm out and about exploring, and I discovered an Earth Island not too far away from Moonstone Island that I hadn't been to yet, and of course a dungeon that I hadn't been in yet either. I found this guy again. I don't know why I didn't try to tame him. Maybe I didn't have enough, or maybe I didn't like him enough. I don't know. I think he's cute. I don't know what's wrong with me. Same thing with Dusty. Maybe I'm getting more picky about who I'm taming. I'm just here to annihilate everyone. This dungeon was really easy for me. My guys were obviously a lot higher level than all of the spirits in here. So we took down the boss with no casualties. We found our memory shard, our stamina increased. And then of course, because I'm annoying, I went back in to find all of the other chests. And I found the last one with literally a minute to spare. Like, I just made it to bed. Day 35, and Guyana wants a spirit, and I actually know which one they want. It's one that has a similar hairstyle to them, but I don't have that one. So tabling it for now, collecting some bars so I can make some stuff. And then I am making even more nests because my spirits are really dropping the eggs recently. Then I finally make the alchemy lab so my mom can stop yelling at me. And after struggling to figure out where I wanted it, I double checked what concoction she wanted me to make, and it was one that had -1 vitality and 20 tame. So I knew that if I put this little mushroom and that little pinwheel, I would make what she was looking for. But I needed to make a glass bottle and ash. I'd never made ash before, but I figured out that if you put the wood in the furnace, you make ash. Later on, I also figure out that you can get it at fire islands, but I don't know that yet. Also, would you believe I still don't know anything about the regen cards? I'm upgrading their cards all the time. I'm not always showing this, but I do upgrade their cards every time I have the opportunity to. Then I found the magic man and I gave him the memory shards that I had from the dungeons I had been doing. I think it was just one. Yes, look, it's just one. And then I'm on the dungeon kick because I really want to figure out what's going on with him. So I found the closest dungeon to Moonstone, which was an electric island that I hadn't been to yet, and I stupidly fell off. This one was really puzzly, so I was worried I wouldn't have enough time to make it through. Then I saw this guy who I saw earlier in the playthrough, but I never tamed, so I decided I want that fire, well, he's electric. I want that electric raccoon boy. He's cute. So I wanted him, tamed him, and then I liked the other guy, so I tamed him too. Now, I didn't have enough time to do this dungeon. I don't know why I always think I can defy time, but I can't. But it's okay, I upgraded, and now I have a better chance to get rare cards. Day 36, and I'm back at it with the electric dungeon. And look at the construction work I needed to use to get back into this place. Bridges, the ladder plant that I finally learned how to use, like, at least I'm learning something. My brain is upgrading. We've come a long way since the beginning, even though we're only on the 2nd season. And then I found my way back into the dungeon to continue where I left off. This one was super easy. We took him out with no casualties. Are my dudes just that good, or was this an easy dungeon? We may never know, but I did get my memory shard and I got the other chest. Upgraded my stamina once again. I love this feature so much. And then I had 2 chests left and so little time of the day, and I could not for the life of me find the final one. So I went home, and I think this is when I realized I actually don't need to find all the chests for it to count. Day 37, with my ash done and me having lots of empty bottles, I finally make the concoction that my mom has been harassing me about. And now it's 37 days in. It's day 9 of summer. Like, it's about time I find this summer temple, don't you think? And yes, here it is. Just when I thought I had nowhere else to go, I found the beautiful, beautiful summer temple. I'm greeted by my boyfriend, my fave, and he tells me, yes, you found the right one this time. And they wanted a pinwheel flower, which I had, and I didn't have a beach peach on me, but my luck was great because there was one on this island. So I strolled right in, and oh my gosh, all of the temples are just so beautiful. Like, I want infinite temples. They're so much fun. This one is so gorgeous. Keep in mind that the only temple I had ever done was the spring temple. So I had no idea what I was in for. And I hadn't seen that spirit yet, but they're so cute. So I walked right in. I wasn't feeling too good about my team, but I wasn't feeling too bad about my team either, because I realized, okay, they're water, so their main weakness is electric, which I don't have on me, but some of them have poison as a weakness, and my girl Guacamole is here to steal the show. Somehow, I made it out alive, except Sriracha didn't, and I tried to tame this little dropple, but the poison got to him before I did. And then I'm rewarded for winning this with a pair of alchemist flippers, which allow me to swim in bodies of water and even go up and down waterfalls, which is really cool. Then the next offering was a lantern and a jewelfish, neither thing I had. So I figured logically the fish is probably something I could catch on this island. So after catching a couple pizza fish, I did manage to catch the correct fish that they wanted. Now I just needed to figure out how to make the lantern, but first, a little swim break. Oh my goodness, don't mind me, just swimming. And then I ran into Quill on the way home, and I gave him one of the plants from a fire island just like to try something random, and he liked it, and I got my first official heart. Oh my god, my boyfriend finally loves me. Then I decided to finally make the decoration station because I figured the lantern is probably craftable here because there's a lantern on the actual desk. And I was correct. And if you're waiting for me to decorate, don't worry, I do it soon. Day 38, and my mom teaches me how to make a cauldron to make potions, which, yes, they are different from concoctions. Then I decide to look for Paolo's spirit once again on Earth Islands, but I don't find them. But I finally tame my boy Dusty, and then I really wanted Fluff Fox as well. I accidentally killed them though, which was sad. But that's okay because I found more Fluff Foxes and I did successfully tame one of them. So I'm getting more cuties on my side. And very notably, I can finally tame spirits up to level 20, which means lots of babies are coming home. Day 39, and we have another brick house. And I know I'm a hypocrite because normally when I get a repeat, I'm skedaddling them to the science center. But I didn't really want to get rid of him, especially because he was a higher level than my other brick house. So I decided to keep him. His name is Mayonnaise, and he's gonna just hang out with his brother, and it's fine. And then I made stalls because I had to bring the babies home. Specifically, Queen Holo Marsha has entered the chat. Then I have to name everybody. Dusty is barbecue sauce, Fluff Fox, miso, and of course, Holo Marsha needed the best name I could think of, even better than guacamole. So I named her my favorite dressing, Green Goddess. Then our bread mouse is called Honey. Armbot is called Lemon Curd. Bark Bite is called Soy Sauce. Bird Brain is now Hollandaise. And I am struggling with the names. And then I remember I haven't even named anyone Ketchup. So we did Ketchup for our little red dragon and then Horseradish for Rad Lad. And oh my goodness, it was instantly time to make some changes to the team. I had a lot of options here, okay? I didn't know what I wanted to do at first. I was very confused. I didn't want to just drop guacamole because she's my number one, like, highest ranked spirit. So I decide I'm going to keep her for now and I'm going to get Honey. And I don't know why out of all of the options I decided to bring apple cider back, but this is the team now. Guacamole, Honey, apple cider. Yikes. Okay. And then here I am back at the Summer Temple trying my hand at defeating this adorable water drop. And as you can see, I'm actually paying attention to what the enemies are weak to. I wanted to bring Honey to the team because water is weak to electric, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I was thinking with apple cider because they died right away. But luckily, Honey and Guacamole led the team to victory. And the next offering wanted sea glass and a moonstone, which I did have both of those things on me, but for some reason in my brain, I thought I did not have the sea glass, but I did. Day 40, apple cider gets the boot, and we bring back our favorite underdog, vodka sauce. I knew we needed Queen Vodka Sauce back in here. I believe in her, okay? And once again, I'm keeping Guacamole. I am going to replace her with Green Goddess eventually, but I gotta get through this temple first, okay? Let me get through this temple, and then I'll start working on building up some other guys. Now, look at this dude. Wow, I wish I could tame this boss because he might be my favorite boss in the whole game. I love his little hat. Here we are doing the boss for the Summer Temple. Now, this one was much easier than the Spring Temple because these guys didn't, like, regenerate like in the Spring Temple. I loaded this man up with poison, and I am just cooking with a pretty solid team right here. Could this be the dream team? We're still trying to assemble it. I wasn't sure, but they did have a pretty good showing, and I felt really great about completing the Summer Temple so soon in summer. Like, now we just have to wait like a whole season once again. Then I decided to finally upgrade my scythe to the Moonstone scythe so I can finally harvest my dark seeds because I want to be productive and complete all of the quests. Also, the dark seeds are usually the best seeds, I found out. So definitely wanted to get them. And then I decided it was barn makeover time, and I reorganized my spirits a little bit. Day 41, and oh my god, my mom is obsessed with me. She wants me to make an abundance potion, which I never learned how to make, so sad, doesn't happen. But I got some new spirits. This little turtle boy was one that I didn't already have, but I did get a repeat, the little fire guy with the hammer up there, and I'm a hypocrite, so I did send him away, but Turtle Boy is called Ranch. The regular Claudio I wanted to keep, even though I do have the Holo one. Their name is Cannoli Cream, and then I did transfer the Fire Guy to the Science Center, and boom, I have a new team. Green Goddess is now stepping in. It's kind of like Guacamole was her understudy, and now the star is here. Then I went to sell my seeds to Ophelia, and I've almost sold all of them except for the psychic ones. And then it's dungeon time. I decided to find a dungeon that was not too far away from me to try to build up some of my new spirits that I really, really liked. And that's exactly what we started to do. We were doing good in the dungeon. Then we found the boss without doing too many battles. Like, I didn't have to do that many. And wow, Vodka Sauce really is proving her worth. Like, she has come a long way, and she is kind of like showing the newbies how to do these dungeons. We got our memory shard, we increased our stamina, and then I ran into an emo shroom that I needed to tame for Guyana. So I did, because this is the one that looks like her. It's got like the swoopy hair. Perfect. I tamed them, no problem, like it was nothing. Then knocked out the other dude like it was nothing. And then I almost made it to bed, but I just missed out. Day 42, and Zed finally wants his spirit, and he wants an electric robot spirit. So I knew the perfect one for him would be the guy with the long arms, but he couldn't have mine. So he'd have to wait until I tamed another one because I wasn't willing to give up my friend. Also, look at this little chimney spirit that I hatched. Love him. His name is Chipotle Mayo. Guyana gets her emo shroom, and they loved it so very much, which was so great for me. And then I discovered another mine, which was great because I was running out of resources. You need to make a lot of bars in this game. If I'm not always showing you, have no doubt I'm always making bars. Then I had skill points, and I decided to do it so that I could potentially wake up with more stamina. Day 43, and I can finally make the Cauldron, which will give me the opportunity to make some different potions. A lot of them help you with resistance. Some of them help cleanse your spirit so you can reset all of their skill points. But the abundance potion, I don't have the recipe for, as I said, so sorry, Mom, I've done my best. Then, as you can see, I decided to add ketchup to my team because I'm trying again. I'm like auditioning people, and I found Armbot, but he was too big of a level. He's actually quite a big level. He was level 32, so Zed's gonna have to wait for a while to actually get him. And then I discovered another dark island, which was super fun, and I decided to go and harvest some seeds, but I did not engage in battle because I was too scared. Then I'm just giving people random stuff, and I decided to give Paolo something random, and we finally got a heart together. Day 44, and we're doing some upgrades, people. I finally have a fancy alchemist house. I'm finally doing something other than just my spirits in this game. I closed up the mine that was by my house, and I didn't understand how this house situation worked. Pretty much, it is the same thing as my tent, but I can pick up either the house or the tent, keep it in my pocket, and then if I'm on a random island and I can't make it home in time, I can stick my tent there. But for a while, I accidentally keep the house in my pocket instead of the tent, so just ignore that. Then I was exploring, and I finally found the spirit that I knew Paolo wanted. Their name is Oaken, so I tamed them. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby. And then I'm still trying to boost the stats of some of my new team members. Specifically, let's be real, we're talking about Green Goddess, who is trying to fill the shoes of her big sis Guacamole. It didn't take us too long to find the boss, and all three of my dudes ended up surviving the battle and knocking out all of the spirits. So once again, we found our memory shard, we increased our stamina, and we could cross another dungeon off of our list. And then I ran into a psychic storm, but sadly I didn't find any psychic spirits, but I did find the seeds I needed. I ended up placing my house right here because it was quite late, and then I had a lot of different things to upgrade. So let's break it down. I upgraded spirits being able to gain XP when following me, the ando trees give me more stamina, and whenever I cut grass, I might get coins. Day 45, Waldo sends me a love note being like, oh my god, Payton, you're so hot, you've done so many dungeons. Here, take this lovely totem so you can fast travel from your whistle to this instead of just the statue, which works out for me because my house is not right next to the statue, so I end up putting that totem right near my house to get home a little bit faster. And then it was perfect because I ran into Waldo, you know, we had a little date, I gave him his memory shards, and I'm filling up this mirror, like I'm almost there. Then I ran into this guy again, and I decided he was good enough to be tamed this time. I don't know what my logic was for sometimes taming, sometimes not. And then, oh boy, here we are back at a poison dungeon. They haven't been going well for us as a whole. So I took my new team to the poison dungeon, and the poison damage was a lot. You know what might have helped us? If we had a spirit that could help us regen every round, but we don't, so we died. Day 46, and I hatched another egg. This one was a bonus Capiscia bee, but space is limited at the Payton's Corner Spirit Barn, so they went to the Science Center instead. Sorry, kisses, love you. Speaking of kisses, love you, I decided to give Paolo their spirit, and they loved it, and matching everybody up with their spirits has been so very much fun, and I cannot wait to keep doing it. Then Paolo gave me the recipe for a loom, something that is very important later on for me. Then I finished the summer seed quest for Guyana, and okay, so I failed at the spring one, and we can, you know, laugh in shame about those 2 empty spaces, but at least I did the summer one, and experimenting with growing different seeds has been really fun. Then I ended the day with some upgrades, and I decided to increase my chance of waking up earlier. Day 47, and this is one of those I don't know what's wrong with me days. I fly to a fire dungeon on an island with spirits much higher level than me because I'm like, yeah, I got one really good fire spirit, so I think I can handle it. I'm crazy for a lot of the days in this game. I get like too cocky. And just like the poison spirits, the fire spirits can actually do the thing where they give you fire damage and then it hits you every round. And that hurts us. LOL, if only there was a water spirit that could regenerate our HP every round. Wouldn't that be a crucial part of the team that we should definitely consider, you know, having? Anyway, everybody dies. Like, what did we expect here? But at least I did have an upgrade, and I decided to make it more likely that I can flee from battle. Day 48, and get this logic. I may have just died on this fire island because it proved to be too tough for me, but you know what? Maybe I can tame one of these spirits, right? I really wanted specifically Pom Bomb. Oh, that's a tough one. Pom Bomb and Bonefire. I wanted so bad. Green Goddess, she was out of there fast. Bonefire was tough to tame, man. Like, I just wanted to tame one of them, and I got so close, but they did absolutely annihilate me before I could tame them. Day 49, Asono wants a Capiscia bee for their match, and it was perfect because I just got that bonus one, like, literally 2 days ago. What is that, 2 days ago? Something like that. So I had one ready to go that I was going to pick up. But first, it's time to make some upgrades to my team. Yes, as you can see, I realize, those water spirits, man, they're probably good to have, especially for the fire islands. So I decide, let's make a all Holo team. And then I find a psychic storm during my all Holo team. Like, this feels like a really special day. And I decide, yes, let me go back to that big and scary island, but this time I have water spirits, and hopefully I'll pull some regen cards so that I can actually win a battle. And guess what happened? Exactly that. It's almost like water beats fire. And if I wanted to beat the fire guys, like, I don't know, maybe having the water spirits here was a real good idea, especially when they can add regen to all of my allies. Yeah. So we're pretty much auditioning one of these two for our final team spot because they've proven to be so valuable. And then I call it a night right here. Day 50, I stick around on the same fire island because now I'm cocky and I want to banish all of the fire spirits and prove to myself I am really good at this game. And I'm doing good. You know, Blue cheese takes some heat here, but it's not their fault. They really had the fire piled on them. And in the end, we do manage to banish all of the spirits and level up some of the team. And then I decide to go home, turn in my research, and pick up my Capiscia bee to give to Asono. Now, watch me make a stupid decision here, okay? So Asono at the beginning of the game was like, oh, you could stay here at the tavern whenever you want. And I forgot about this, so I was like, oh, maybe I could go in her room. And then I accidentally slept for the night. I forgot you can accidentally sleep here. And so day 51 starts with me waking up in the tavern. But I woke up at 5 a.m., so that's nice. Then I have a lot of crops, a lot of them. And I finally give the Capiscia bee to Asono, and this time I don't accidentally end the day early. So now we're doing pretty good on all of the matches. And Asono told me because I helped her out, I can get free coffee, which is so great. Then I decided to go say hi to Paolo, and Paolo was selling this adorable painter's desk, which I really, really liked. Day 52, and I am hitting a lot of rocks. I'm also hitting a lot of trees because I have a big goal today, and that is to upgrade my spirit barn from the regular boring small one to the big spirit barn. It'll be done tomorrow, but I wanted to get ready, so I did make a few new stalls because I have so many eggs. Then I finally do this where I switch, I put the tent in my pocket, and then the house is where I live. And then I had an upgrade where crops sell for even more. Day 53, and look how big my spirit barn is. Oh my god. I don't know why this then gave me a big ego because I was like, yeah, let's go back to that fire island that totally destroyed you the other day. This time, though, with my team of a poison and then 2 water spirits, like maybe it would go better. Green Goddess sadly couldn't take the heat. The regen really did help us out, though, with the water spirits. But as you can see, I'm stacked up against spirits that are just like a lot more powerful than me. And I don't know why I think that I can just like, I don't know, win the game now because I think I know what I'm doing. I don't. Day 54, and I decide, okay, let's go to one of the other fire islands, one of like the baby fire islands, and let's work my way up, okay? Because obviously I want to build these water spirit skills, but I'm not ready for the ones that are super high level. I finally got to tame my Pom Bomb, who I love so much. And then think of this like the training montage, okay? I do spirit after spirit, battle after battle, working my water spirits particularly up. And I know at this point, one of these 2 water spirits is gonna make it. They're gonna make the cut, okay? They got the callback. They're gonna make it on the final team. And I decided to name my new friend Buffalo Sauce. Day 55, and I'm looking for dungeons because I have some other friends I want to audition for my perfect team. The perfect team to me is one that I can tame the dark spirits in because they're super crazy and high. I realize that dark spirits are weak to psychic. So the perfect team to me definitely is going to have, of course, Green Goddess, one of my psychic spirits, and then one of those 2 water spirits. So I bring back fan favorite, and by fan favorite, I mean my favorite, Vodka Sauce, and I also give Vinaigrette a try at this poison island, and Vinaigrette does not really stand a chance, but they're a much lower level, so we have to go a little bit easy on them. These poison dungeons, man, they're tough. Like, you can't avoid the bosses a lot of the time. Vinaigrette dies instantly again, and it's becoming a little bit more clear who our psychic choice is going to be. We've watched Vodka Sauce blossom in this playthrough. They started out being the one that always dies, and now they're always still standing for most of the time. Then keep in mind, these combat battles take a lot of time. Like, time stops. So I had enough and I was like, we'll finish this another time. And I found a psychic storm. I didn't find any new spirits, but I decided to still do some battle anyway. Then I decided to upgrade my ability to tame spirits and my ability to run away scared from battle. Day 56, and Quill wants a fluffy little fire spirit, so I'll have to keep that in mind. But first, I went back to the poison dungeon that I didn't finish yesterday because I got sick of fighting all day. It went okay. Vinaigrette finally survived a battle, so that's good. And then I took on a Marsha boss, which, you know, terrifying because Marsha is the best out of all of them, I think. And they were laying on the poison a little thick, okay? Vinaigrette and Vodka Sauce were out of here. So I was depending on my girl, Green Goddess, to absolutely destroy, and she did, because Green Goddess is the best around. This took a long time, so I decided to once again finished this another day and using my warp whistle to my totem so I don't have to walk. And then I checked on my spirits and I hatched some eggs. I have my own emo shroom now who's called Mushroom Sauce. And I decided that the fire puppy, now I had a bonus of, might be good for Quill because he wanted a fluffy fire spirit. And he's like, no, I want someone fluffy. I know he's talking about the fire sheep, but I call BS. This is a fluffy fire spirit, but whatever, okay. Then I decided to hit some rocks to take out my frustration on having nobody love me yet. And once again, I'm making some bars. Day 57, and it's the first day of fall, so I will forget everybody's birthday, but just so we know, birthdays happen, I just don't remember. I decided this fall, I am going to grow crops, and I'm gonna be efficient. I'm gonna make some sprinklers, and I'm gonna make things look beautiful. Discovered all of the new fall crops. We've got a plum, which are some really good ones for helping to boost HP. And then I got my fall seed quest. You know the drill by now. Got to find all of the seeds from all the different islands. Then I decided I hated how my farm area was laid out, so I relaid it out to make it beautiful and pretty. Then I passed out feeding my spirits. Day 58, and look at this lineup of new bad boys and girls. I have a lot of new spirits that hatched, as you can see, but I don't have time to think of that many condiments right now. I gotta go. You know what I'm looking for by now. You know where my priorities lie. It's fall temple time, okay? At least I'm starting the season having known where this is, and right away I need 2 crops that I don't have, and I figure, okay, I probably can get those from Poison Islands, so I will look out for those specific crops, and then I went to get fiber to feed all of my guys, and then I went to bed. Day 59, we got new spirit roll call, we got cactus bloom sauce, we skedaddled our repeats. I'm so sorry, Kisses. I love you so much. Also, the cactus is one of my new favorites, okay? Don't tell the others. Shh. Then we got tahini. Then we got ponzu. And then, of course, we got gravy. And we have so many new friends joining us. And then it was time to look for the crops I needed for the temple, and I found them pretty easy. And oh my god, this temple, I am obsessed with this. This is so good. Like, my mouth was open watching this. I was like, this is the best one. Like, I don't know how it gets better than this. So here we are taking on our first battle. I decided to bring Ketchup to the squad. I don't know why I decided to bring Ketchup to the squad instead of one of the water boys, but it's cool. We end up winning the first battle pretty darn easily, and I'm rewarded with a boomerang, which will let me stun spirits so I can actually, like, get some stuff done. And for the next offering, I need a concoction and an iron sheet. Don't have the iron sheet, so I will have to come back after I make one. But first, I need to get some ore so I can make iron bars, so I can make iron sheets. But for now, it's bedtime. Day 60, iron sheet made. And I'm looking once again at all of these charms, and I am considering, I should probably make one because they help, you know, with the resistance for the damage on the islands, whatever. Okay, I don't make one yet, but here we are back at the temple, and this was so cool. I got to use my boomerang to jump on these mushrooms, and this was just so satisfying. Like, I didn't do a good job of aiming, but I thought it was so fun. And here we are at boss number 2. I'm sticking with the same squad as yesterday, Vodka Sauce and Green Goddess, and for some reason, Ketchup. Now, we take a lot of poison damage. Hey, you know what would have been so good in this battle? I don't know, having a spirit that, like, helps you regen every round. That would have been such a cool idea. But I didn't do that. Day 61, I'm collecting the seasonal seeds I need from all of the different islands. And wow, there are some really good seeds for the fall that really will help you with tame, with HP, with stamina, so I start using these ones in my rotation more. Okay, so I decided to change the squad up and I brought Honey back. I decide, yes, let's not pick the obvious choice, let's bring an electric boy instead. Then I'm starting to finally utilize the concoctions so that when I feed my spirits during battle, I don't have to feed them like multiple times to raise their stats quickly. I just need big old concoctions that'll do it for me. So here I am with Honey, who gets knocked out immediately. And once again, look at all that poison I'm about to take. Wouldn't it have been so helpful to have, I don't know, maybe like a water spirit that could help regen every time? Probably, but Green Goddess and Vodka Sauce did it on their own. They didn't even need a third. They were ready to do it. So I moved on to the next level, and I got to shoot the little mushrooms again, which was super fun. Now, I don't know why I have no brain cells at this point, because I know at this point, like, if I go up here, I'm gonna have the final boss, but I didn't feed my spirits, like, in between the match, so they all were, like, you know, like, dead. And here I am just, like, confidently strolling into the boss battle with this guy who is so cool. As you can see, it's not looking hot for me right off the bat. This was accidental. I decided to try to fight anyway. Like, let's give it a go. And obviously, it doesn't go well. Day 63 and Farah is asking me for a beardini, but keep in mind, I've been calling them by their names, so I forgot that Vodka Sauce is in fact a beardini, and I do know what that spirit is, because I was like, I don't have whatever spirit she wants. I'm gonna just put it out of my brain. Whatever. Anyway, I'm preparing myself to do the Spring Temple again by making lots of concoctions all day. Day 64, and we are back, baby, and this time, we're prepared, and Look who finally is on the team. And this time, I think they're here to stay. I've decided blue cheese is my, I don't know if king, queen, the love of my life, blue cheese is here to stay. Okay, you know, they didn't do that great in this showing, but having them was better than not having them. They had a lot of poison damage thrown their way, as did Vodka Sauce, but they still made it out alive, barely. So I finished the Fall Temple with what I think may just be the perfect team. I got the Poison Seal, and I've got a whole season of stuff to still do. So I decided to pay my attention back to the farm, and I'm once again trying to grow more and more crops because wow, do they help. Day 65, I've got some new friends. They're all repeats except for Mumbleweed, who I have one in science. This name was brought to you by my boyfriend. I don't know what this sauce is, but it's called au jus? Au jus sauce? That is what he recommended for that guy, so that's what we went with. Now I am gathering resources because it's finally time to upgrade my home. And since it's time to upgrade my home, I made a loom, and the loom lets you make wallpaper and custom flooring. So I decided to go for a very celestial story night kind of theme because that is very my vibe. And I don't know why I spent the whole day making this wallpaper when I just upgraded my house and I knew it was going to be different tomorrow, but that's what I did all day. And then I had an upgrade, so I decided to get some more wood when I cut down trees. Now welcome to the next couple days being Extreme Makeover Moonstone Island Edition. Pretty much for the next several days, I am just getting fiber, making floor tiles, repeat, moving my chests, and I am just trying to finally give my house the attention it deserves, and I really enjoyed this whole experience. Of course, my house is not the most, like, crazy there is. There's only 2 rooms, so there's only so much I can fit, but I end up really loving how it turns out. It does take a while. Like, as you can see, this is over the course of a few different days, but I'm finally utilizing the decoration station. I'm finally organizing my chests really well. And I think this was one of the first moments for me where I was like, yeah, okay, I think I am actually kind of doing something here. And in the end, this is kind of what we're working with. We have our front room, which has our resources and our desks and our bedroom in the back. Day 70 and Cleo asks for a wolf-like dark spirit, and honestly, good luck, babe. I want a dark spirit too, so have fun with that. Then I go back to that poison dungeon that's been taking 8 million years, and I finally finish it. Yay, good job, go me, and I level up my stuff. I can now tame spirits up to level 30, and I also chose to start with an extra energy in dungeons. Day 71, I do an entire new poison dungeon and I win it because I'm really trying to help the magic man. Day 72, I tried to do the exact same thing I did yesterday. I found another poison dungeon, but this one absolutely kicked my booty. And yeah, I died. So I guess I'm not that good after all. Day 73, we find an easier dungeon, this one a water dungeon, and we really win it because Green Goddess has this card that triples the target's poison. And yeah, that does a lot. And then thank God I decided to hang around on this island because I found a hollow sand crashel who I name Pesto. And then I unlocked more fertilizer. Day 74, and I decided to spend the day getting resources. Mainly, I need a lot of fiber to feed my large amount of spirits. And also, I've started to make charms to resist damage when I go to fire islands, and so far also for poison islands. Day 75 ends up being an hour and a half in real life time because I take on the hardest dungeon I've had yet. It's a fire dungeon where I can't skip any of the combat. Those are all the bosses I'm dealing with. I finally tamed Shmeep, by the way, but these are all the bosses I'm dealing with. And I tamed that guy too. Again, hour and a half until I finally win the freaking dungeon. And this one gave me a lot of good stuff and a lot of level up, but mainly it gave me a psychic potion where I'll be able to see where psychic storms are each night as long as I take the potion after 20. Then I gave Quill his spirit. He loves me. Finally. Then I decided to test out this potion, and I was able to find the island with the storm, but I didn't find any spirits. Instead, I did find the magic man, and I only have one memory shard left. After that crazy day, I had a lot of upgrades, so dungeon bosses start with 20 less health, rocks automatically hit each other, more fertilizer, and also people like me now. Day 76, I finally finished the Fall Seed quest, and this is me in real time realizing that Beardini is vodka sauce, and that's the spirit the Pharaoh wants, so I need to find one. Then I decided to turn my attention to working on my farm, so I make stone pathing literally all day. Day 77, new spirit roll call because I have hatched so many eggs. I skedaddled my repeats, but here's who we're keeping. This guy, this frog is called Chimichurri. And then the frog next to him, Lime Crema. And then the tree looking dude, Teriyaki. And then this guy, I decide, oh my god, I can give to Zed because he's an electric robot. So I'm gonna go give him to Zed. Zed decides he doesn't want him. He just said electric robot. And he's like, no, I want someone with really big arms, which I knew he wanted the long arm boy, but he's level 32 and I can't bring him home yet. But it's okay. I'm really excited about this new spirit, so I decided to call him Mustard. And then I go back to working on my farm with my stone path, and I even make some stone fencing. Then I pass out on a psychic island, but I can finally tame spirits up to level 40. Day 78, I realize I'm getting insane crops like this one that boosts my HP 100, and one that actually will boost the XP, so I can feed my spirits in the barn and they'll still level up. Speaking of leveling up, Zed, here you go. Here's your dude. So happy. He rewards me with the recipe to make a beacon, which is a device you can use to mark different locations. Day 79, and I decide to tackle another fire dungeon. Really scared it's gonna end up like the other one and I'm gonna be here for an hour. But luckily, I breezed through this one, and look at this amazing move. My green goddess deals 267 poison to the guardian, and he's done. And I finally found the final memory shard. And the magic man, my boyfriend, was so very happy. And I was really excited to see what the heck happened because I have never gotten to this point. So I step in the mirror and I have absolutely no idea where I'm gonna be. And here I am, the super important island that I found before that was like, this feels important. And I decided to take this as a sign that maybe the magic man believes in me. So I engaged in a dark spirit battle and I banished my first ever dark spirit. And not too long after that, I banished another one. Tried so hard to tame the coffee one, but sadly I could not. But my dudes won the battle, and I brought this guy home from the science center and I called him Cholula. And then, as if the day couldn't get more exciting, I finally was able to make a greenhouse because winter is coming and some of these fall seeds are too good not to plant year-round. Day 80, and I'm rewarded for banishing a dark spirit by getting a spirit brush that I can use to brush them to make them happy. But first, I have a greenhouse to place down, and this greenhouse is pretty much the same as if you play any other farming game. I can plant crops in here that will stay okay year-round, so fall crops can go in here, summer, whatever. I make tons of sprinklers for all of the places, and then I find yet another poison dungeon I haven't already done, and I absolutely crush it. These are getting too easy for me now. Day 81, a bunch of my eggs hatch, but they're all repeats, which really means I'm getting to the end of almost taming all of the spirits. Then I try brushing my little dudes, and honestly, it takes too much time, but they deserve love. Then I buy some cute little boots to put around as decor, because how could I not? They're just absolutely precious. And then I'm planting seeds in my greenhouse. They're always going to be psychic and dark seeds because they are the best. Then I find an electric dungeon I've never done before, and I absolutely, once again, crush it. Am I crushing it? I'm crushing it. Day 82, and I find another electric dungeon I've never done, and guess what? We win this one too. And if it's not clear by now, this is the perfect team. I'll take a moment, let you see them. They've leveled up a lot since I've really shown you them, but I've decided this is the best team. Green Goddess hits him with the poison. Blue Cheese hits him with the regen, and Vodka Sauce brings the team extra moves, extra energy, and that psychic damage. This is the perfect team. Also, I had an upgrade, so I might be able to get more seeds from cutting down crops. Day 83, that greenhouse is too small, so let's make it bigger. Day 84, now it's bigger. More things. Also, I find the confidence and the strength after a very long battle. I finally tame my first dark spirit, and it's the one I wanted the most, which is this lovely coffee boy. And then I'm still looking for the one that Cleo wants. Cleo wants like a wolf dark spirit. I don't find it, but I'm getting really good at banishing all the dark spirits in the game. And then later that night, I'm on a psychic island and I find a new spirit that I don't already have. And I finally find the Beardini, so I can finally give it to Farah. Day 85, and it's the first day of winter. Can you believe we are in our last season together? I can't. And also, can you believe there's a whole other type of spirit you didn't know about? Yeah, ice spirits. We have to find ice spirits this winter, and specifically, Ophelia wants one for her match, and she'll take literally any ice spirit we could find, which is pretty exciting. Then, as per usual, it's the start of a new season, so I'm getting all of the seeds, and I quickly learn that winter is my favorite season because all of the water freezes over, and it's really cool. Then I name my new friend Strawberry Sauce, and I don't have the Dark Spirit because they're too high a level to keep in here. But I finally have the Beardini, so I can finally give it to Farah, and she is so very excited, and I totally get it because I love my vodka sauce. Then it's winter temple time, baby. Doesn't take me too long to find the crops that I need for this one. And here we are, setting foot in our final temple. I never thought back during spring that we would make it to this point, but this was so cinematic. Like, this felt so cool. There's something really interesting and eerie about it being an electric temple as the final one. It's kind of not the one that I thought it would be, but I really had fun with it nonetheless. So I stroll right up and we get into our first boss battle for our final temple. And with our girl Vodka Sauce, who has this card where she can triple our energy, giving us 12 moves this round, it's a breeze. Like, it really is a breeze, and I did find the dream team. So we finish our first boss battle for our final temple, and I'm rewarded with a teleportation device, which will allow me to teleport a little bit in front of me. And then I don't have the items I need for the next offering, so we'll have to come back for that one later. And then, of course, I had to teleport to try it out and see how it worked. Day 86, new spirit roll call because I had a lot of eggs hatch. So our new friends that I'm keeping, we've got Gochujang. Finally, I have this fiery sheep. I got this earth spirit I've never seen. I called them Caesar dressing. And then the little green shrub boy, I feel like there's no name perfect other than Wasabi. And then this plant I decide to call Salsa Verde. And then all of the extras I send to the Science Center. Now, one of the things I need for the temple is a cinder fish. And I knew that the only body of water not frozen over would be the lava. So I decided to fish on a fire island, hoping to find the cinder fish. And eventually I do it, but I'm really bad at fishing in this game. Like, shoot, not my best thing. Then I'm trying to figure out where the heck are these ice spirits. And this next island confuses me for a while because I end up at a psychic island, but it's originally a water island. So I think, oh, the ice spirits are also on the psychic islands. Wrong. They're on the water islands, but I don't realize that for a while, and I think they're only on psychic islands. Regardless, I found this adorable ice cream boy, and he was coming home with me. And then I had an upgrade so I could wake up earlier. Day 87, I find an electric dungeon I haven't done yet, and you guessed it, my team leaves no crumbs. And then every night I go to a psychic island, and of course I was never gonna find an ice spirit on a poison island. Day 88, and I have what I need for the winter temple. So here we go, our second boss battle for our final temple. But first, I had to teleport up there, which I thought was just so cute and fun. And it wasn't surprising, but my team of 3 took down this big old Sparky like it was no problem. And then I actually had what I needed for the last offering on me. And because that last battle was so quick, I decided, let's go for the big boss. The big boss for our final temple. Let's go. I love this boss so much. He looks so cool. And while this one was a bit more challenging, it wasn't that challenging for my dream team. And so on day 88, I completed the final temple. I could not believe it. And so I was gifted the electric seal and immediately met with my boyfriend who had some words for me. So now that I found the 4 seals, he wants me to go back through the mirror and go to that crazy dark place and place the seals on those little pedestals. But there's no time for that right now. Like, there's no sense of urgency I have. I would rather go look for an ice spirit on an island where you actually can't find ice spirits. So, you know, I just like to waste my time instead of finishing the main quest line for some reason. And now I'm able to tame spirits of any level. Day 89, and my coffee spirit is coming home with me, and I'm still looking for ice spirits in the wrong places. Day 90, and we have some new spirits to name. This really cool fire spirit I decided to call Habanero, and then I forgot to name my ice cream one from before, so I named them Marshmallow Sauce. And of course, my coffee I decided to call Chocolate Syrup. And then, I waste no more time, I get to the main point, and I place all the seals to close the rift. Now, I figured there was going to be a boss battle here, and I decided I didn't want to bring my new fancy dark spirit. I wanted to stay with my team, because they got me all the way here. Now, I want you to imagine my face when the battle started like this. I was about to pee my pants. This boss has 1k HP, and they have this move where they keep knocking you down to 1 HP. But lucky for me, I have a lot of these ghost mushrooms that boost you 100 HP. So those things carry me a lot. Just when I think it's hard enough, the main guy has 2 entourage dudes that come in and help him out. And I decide, okay, my main point of attack here has to be to just load these guys up with poison, specifically the main boss. And this becomes really hard because they continue to do this move that knocks me back to 1. And this would be more challenging if I didn't have vodka sauce, because vodka sauce gives me more extra energy so that my entire move isn't just for refilling my own HP. That way I can get attacks in. I loaded them up with poison, and I can't believe it, after a long time, I beat the boss battle and I got my first ever dark spirit egg. I'm immediately congratulated by the magic man who tells me I'm amazing. Oh my God, I'm in love with you. Okay, he didn't say that, but good job. And then, as if the day couldn't get more exciting, I finally found some ice spirits and I tamed some real cuties. The ice spirits are some of my absolute favorite. So I got Huggy and I got Bongwin. Day 91, Waldo is pouring his heart out thanking me, and he gives me pretty much like a Moonstone gumball machine that'll give me 1 Moonstone per day. Then it's almost the end, so it's about time I go on a date, don't you think? So I ask out Quill, and he says no, but that's okay because I've got options, so I ask out Paolo, and they say yes. Then I go home, and I name my new friends Queso Blanco and Bechamel, and I love them so very much. Then I'm looking for more ice spirits, and I find this adorable ice cream dude. And then I run into my favorite spirit yet, I think, and I'm so bummed because I can't tame this guy because he's a boss. But don't worry, I will find my little starry hat boy. And then I tamed another one of these guys to give to Ophelia. Day 92, Rowan is thanking me for pairing everyone up, but I never even found Cleo's companion, so oops. And Rowan says I can pick any spirit I want for their companion, so I'll have to think about it for a little bit. Then Waldo moves back to Moonstone Island. He has a place right in town, so I know exactly what I gotta do. I'm asking him out on a date, and he says, yes, let's go, back-to-back dates, no problem. And then Asono invites me to a Rift party on Friday to celebrate me saving the day. Speaking of saving the day, boom, all the seeds. Well, except for those 2 spring ones. Then I'm finishing my fence that I started a while ago and never finished. And then I'm taming every single winter spirit ever. Penguin boy, icicle, big yeti dude. Like, they just keep coming and I keep taming them. And then I found the guy I really liked from the other night. I was so excited to tame this one as well. On day 93, I put out my Moonstone gumball machine, and I also make this mirror that lets me see my skill tree. And then it is new spirit roll call time because we've got lots of new friends. So we've got Mixed Berry Compo is the little popsicle. The one I really liked, I decided to call Frosting. Then I decided to name the Big Yeti Sour Cream. The ice cream one is Rainbow Sprinkles, and the cute little penguin is called Tzatziki. And then I decided to take my bonus of the Bongwin to give to Ophelia, but she wasn't there. That's okay. And then later that night, I had my date with Paolo, which honestly went a little weird. The whole time they were like, oh my God, aren't I too old for you? And then I was like, wait, what? Are you too old for me? Is this weird? I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old I am. Day 94, I ask Quill out again, and this time he actually says yes. And then I give Ophelia her spirit, which she really liked. And then it's time for my date with Waldo, which yes, it's in the same place as my one with Paolo. Shh, I don't want to hear about it. And this was really great. Like, he really opened up to me about his past, and he thanks me for taking a chance on him. He's pretty much like, I'm damaged, I have a dark past, and I have to admit, I am into it. I'm pretty into it. Day 95, and I have a dark spirit hatch, and I decide to name them Poison. And I think they are so cool looking. They're the best. Then, after thinking about it, I decided the perfect spirit for Rowan is Prickly, the little cactus fire spirit. I think that really gets Rowan's vibe, and they really liked it too. So in that case, I've done everybody's match except for Cleo's, who I've never been able to find. And then Rowan rewards me by giving me dancing shoes, and I do not hesitate to bust a move. Then I realize I've actually already tamed all of the ice spirits, which is really cool. So I give it a go in looking for Cleo's wolf spirit one more time. And once again, I do not find them, but I did get a dark spirit egg, so maybe it'll hatch. And then I decide to upgrade my greenhouse again before going on my date with Quill, which was really cute. He pretty much was like, yeah, I feel like my job as an artist is not that important, but I promise I'd be a good boyfriend to you. And overall, I still really like Quill a lot. Day 96, and I get my first ever Moonstone gumball, which I think is really cute. And then I check in on my new greenhouse, which looks great, and I decide it'd be much easier for me to put chests in here where I can keep my seeds to free up some room in my main house. Speaking of chests, I put some chests in the spirit barn to collect my eggs, and then I go to the party where everybody is thanking me for saving the day, even though some of them didn't even know anything was wrong. And then I don't hesitate to bust a move, and everybody is just staring me down, probably because I'm the best dancer ever. And then I get this sweet note about the big quest being over, but my life just beginning now. Day 97, I start making these self-feeder stalls for my spirit barn, and I begin to start kind of organizing. Day 98, I drink this potion that lets time stop when I'm inside my spirit barn because I want to move all of my spirits around. And when I'm done, it looks like this. I grouped them by type, and then I put similar types kind of near each other. And then I bet you forgot about this, but I did not. It was finally time to look for some of the treasure. And I had so much time flying around to all of the islands to find as many as I could. Day 99, and I hatched another dark spirit. This one is so cool. I decided to call them Blackberry Jam, and then I brought them over with their friends before I decided to continue my treasure hunt. Day 100. I cannot believe we've made it Here are all of my lovely babies that I've gotten to raise along the way. I am so proud of how far I've come, and I've had so much fun. I decided to ask Waldo out on our second date, and the future is looking up for me. I decided to give it one more go to find Cleo's spirit. I don't find it, but I do tame this pupox, which I think is so very cute. I go home and I then name them Caramel Drizzle, which I think is just the best. And one more time, I say thank you to my perfect team who I spent so long searching for. They really made this experience the best. And then I look at the calendar because we have so much more fun ahead of us in Moonstone Island. And then for one final time in the video, I decided to go to bed. And one final recap, I cleared 19 dungeons, discovered 80 out of 84 spirits, tamed 114 of them, and banished 299. And I did it all in 100 days. And there you have it. I can't believe you made it. If you made it to this point of the video, I want you to leave a comment right now and say, I made it, Payton, and also let me know which of the spirits was your ultimate favorite and what names am I missing. I was really struggling to name these guys at the end. I hope you enjoyed seeing my 100 Days of Moonstone Island experience. I already knew that I liked Moonstone Island before this, but this 100 days really made me fall in love with this game. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. What did you think of the 100 days? And do you want to see more, maybe? Let me know down below. Be sure to click the lovely little like button on the way out, as well as subscribe for more cozy, chaotic content. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!